$660 million for a single jet, more than the entire Air Force budget of some nations. This is not luxury. It is a flying fortress, armored against nuclear attack, engineered for total command in crisis. Why would the United States invest $2 billion in just 2 planes? Because inside, every inch serves a purpose that could shape world history. How did this airborne command center become so priceless? Presidential flight began not with luxury, but with necessity. In 1945, a Douglas C-54 Skymaster called the Sacred Cow carried Franklin D. Roosevelt to the Yalta Conference, its cabin retrofitted with a wheelchair lift and a private office. This wartime conversion marked the first time the commander-in-chief traveled in an aircraft built to shield both the presidency and the continuity of government from crisis. After Roosevelt, Harry Truman signed the National Security Act aboard the Sacred Cow, creating the United States Air Force as a separate branch while still in flight. That moment set the precedent for airborne executive authority. Through the late 1940s, Truman's Independence and Eisenhower's Columbine series extended this airborne security. A near miss in 1953, when Eisenhower's plane shared a flight number with a commercial airliner, forced the military to create a new standard. In 1954, the call sign AIR Force One became official, ensuring any aircraft carrying the president would be unmistakable to air traffic control. This small change, born from a brush with disaster, established the unmistakable identity that endures today. By the jet age, global threats demanded more than symbolism. Eisenhower's administration introduced Boeing 707 jets, but it was John F. Kennedy who commissioned a new livery and a dedicated VC-137C, capturing the public imagination with a blue and white design that still signals American power on every continent. The arrival of the VC-25A, a heavily modified Boeing 747-200B in 1990, brought 3 decks, thousands of miles of range, and the ability to serve as a mobile command center in the nuclear age. Each generation of presidential aircraft is a direct response to the world's dangers, evolving from a converted propeller plane to a fortress engineered for survival and command under any scenario. 4,000 square feet of interior space stretch across 3 decks, making the current Air Force One one of the largest and most complex flying command centers ever constructed. Fully loaded, the aircraft weighs approximately 833,000 pounds, nearly twice the weight of a standard commercial 747. This immense scale is not just for comfort or display. Every square foot is engineered for survival and operational continuity. The airframe itself is a fortress. Structural reinforcement goes far beyond civilian standards, with compartmentalized bays and layered shielding designed to contain and isolate any system failure. Critical wiring is shielded in multiple layers, using techniques similar to a Faraday cage to block electromagnetic pulses that could cripple unprotected electronics. Analysts familiar with the program describe avionics bays encased in conductive mesh and essential systems routed through isolated power buses. Even the windows are laminated with embedded conductors to resist electromagnetic pulse effects. Redundancy is built into every major system. Power, communications, and flight controls each have independent, shielded backups, ensuring that no single point of failure can bring down the core functions of the aircraft. This level of hardening is the result of decades of Cold War contingency planning, where the ability to operate after a nuclear detonation was not theoretical, it was a baseline requirement. A defense procurement analyst once described the aircraft as a flying bunker with wings, where every design decision weighs the cost of failure against the need for unbroken command. Inside this hardened shell, the mission systems and life support modules find their place, protected by layers of engineering that few other aircraft in the world can match. The President's office aboard Air Force One stretches wider than the Oval Office itself, with a broad desk, conference seating, and walls lined with encrypted communications ports. Every element is designed for both routine governance and the gravest emergencies. A secure conference room sits adjacent, its table wired for classified calls. Decisions made here can redirect military assets or negotiate with world leaders in real time. Far from a ceremonial space, this is a functioning command post, where the daily business of the presidency continues uninterrupted at 35,000 feet. Beyond the office, a private stateroom offers more than rest. Medical monitors track vital signs, and a dedicated lavatory includes a shower for long-haul missions. But the most critical facility lies behind a discreet door, the flying hospital. The medical suite is equipped for surgery, with an operating table, advanced life support systems, and a pharmacy stocked for 3 months. A physician travels on every flight, trained for everything from trauma care to cardiac emergencies. In rare but documented cases, the team has stabilized acute medical events mid-air, procedures that would challenge any ground hospital, let alone one moving at nearly 600 miles per hour. These spaces reflect a simple truth. The presidency cannot pause for crisis or illness. Every system, communications, medicine, logistics, must function around the person, not just the office. The human dimension shapes every inch of this airborne fortress, ensuring that, in moments of uncertainty, the machinery of government remains unbroken. Encrypted satellite links anchor Air Force One's command structure, tying the president to the Pentagon, NORAD, and nuclear submarines. The communications suite is built to resist jamming, cyber attacks, and even nuclear shockwaves. More than 80 secure phone lines and redundant broadband channels converge in the Situation Room, where real-time intelligence shapes decisions at 35,000 feet. Bandwidth is hardened, every channel prioritized for continuity. Sustainment is a daily operation. Twin galleys, staffed by Air Force stewards, can serve up to 100 people at once. Refrigerated and dry storage holds enough for 3,000 meals, supporting missions that last days. Dietary needs are met, and food safety is strict, no detail overlooked in protecting the president and staff. The dining area doubles as a conference room, hosting working lunches and diplomatic dinners. Seating is mapped for 70 passengers, senior advisors, Secret Service, and the press corps, each assigned by protocol and security. At the rear, a dedicated post lets Secret Service agents coordinate protection in real time. Press seats are arranged for rapid briefings, keeping the flow of information constant. Chief Master Sergeant Wilson, the maintenance supervisor, calls the workload relentless. He says every system has a backup, and every backup a checklist. It takes over 600 people to keep one jet ready. For the next model, nearly 800. The margin for error is 0. Survival at altitude depends on more than armor and redundancy. Air Force One carries an arsenal of electronic defenses, each designed to counter a different threat with split-second precision. The ANALQ series of jammers sweep the electromagnetic spectrum, disrupting hostile radar and scrambling targeting systems before a missile ever locks on. For infrared-guided threats, the aircraft relies on a networked suite. The ANAAR-54 missile warning sensors scan for the ultraviolet flash of a launch, and they instantly cue the AAQ-24 directional infrared countermeasures. Within moments, these systems can fire laser pulses to blind incoming missiles, while automated chaff and flare dispensers deploy decoys to draw them away. These defenses operate almost entirely without human input, layered to ensure no single system stands alone. Endurance is equally vital. Aerial refueling capability gives Air Force One unlimited range, allowing it to remain airborne for days if required. Every defensive upgrade and refueling port is a direct investment in the president's ability to command, no matter how hostile the skies become. The true cost of Air Force One extends far beyond its sticker price. The current program for 2 VC-25B aircraft carries a total acquisition bill of over $2 billion, a sum that covers not only the heavily modified jets, but also specialized ground facilities, training, and spare parts. This figure does not include the billions more required for long-term operations and support. Each hour in the air draws nearly $200,000 from the federal budget, a rate driven by the aircraft's custom systems, security protocols, and the need for constant readiness. Over 600 military and civilian maintainers, soon to rise to nearly 800 for the new model, work around the clock to keep every component mission-ready. Their expertise is matched by a network of contractors who handle classified communications, avionics, and defensive upgrades, all under strict security. The Government Accountability Office has repeatedly flagged the program for cost growth and schedule delays, noting that classified requirements and evolving threats push expenses higher with each upgrade cycle. a senior Government Accountability Office fiscal analyst described the oversight challenge as a balancing act between national security and fiscal responsibility, warning that the real price of presidential protection can never be measured in dollars alone. The debate endures. How much is too much for a flying command post that must never fail? Today, Air Force One is more than a symbol. It is a $660 million test of how much security a nation can buy. As threats grow more complex and costly, one question lingers. Where does protection end and power begin? The answer shapes every decision at 30,000 feet.